Hey everybody, I'm Dan Willingham. I'm a professor who studies human learning, back with a third video about how to prepare for exams. In a previous video, I described why you would want to write a study guide in a question-answer format. Today I've got 4 ideas for you about how to write effective questions. First idea, make your questions meaningful. Now sometimes that seems hard to do, like when you're supposed to just know a date in history. If that happens, by all means, put a question in your study guide where you're just making sure that you know the date, but then add another question that's a how question or a why question. That'll get you connecting this material to other things that you've learned in the course, and that's going to make it more meaningful. Second idea, pose questions in both directions. So if you've got questions where I see the term and then I have to provide the definition, do the opposite as well. I see the definition, I have to provide the term. Third thing to do, test the same content in multiple ways. You can't know exactly how an instructor is going to get at a particular type of information. Now, I don't just mean rephrasing here. I mean, you've got this sort of core set of facts on some topic that you're supposed to know, so pose questions that highlight different aspects of this thing that you're supposed to know, as you can see in the example here. This is especially important to do in classes like science classes, engineering classes, math classes, where you're learning problem solutions. And as you know, there are lots of different ways to phrase a problem, all of which call for the same solution. So generate as many of those as you can think of for your study guide. Fourth, look for opportunities to make questions bigger. So suppose you run into a fact that you know you're supposed to know. Look for a chance, some way that you can blow that fact up, put it into a broader context. And then if you can, maybe you can make it even bigger, make the context even bigger. By thinking about where this fact fits in, you're connecting the dots on all of the content you're supposed to know, thinking about broader themes. That's going to make it more meaningful and tie up everything in the course. Naturally, these broad questions are essential in your study guide if you're preparing for an essay test, but the answers that you put are not going to be essays, naturally, just some bullet points of what would go into an essay. Next video, we will talk about how to work through this study guide answering the questions.